My daughter got cheated on and then found out she is an affair child. Firstly, I took your advice. We will give her space and stop bothering her until she is ready to talk to us again. We didn't talk to her until yesterday when she asked to speak with us. When I made my first post, she stopped talking to us a week before that. Within this time she went to visit Mary. After a week, yesterday, Anna messaged us and said she wants to talk and that we should come to sister-in-law's house. For the first time in a week Anna hugged us. I was in tears. I told her we were sorry for everything we did. She also said sorry for calling us harsh names. That she was in a bad place and didn't know how to handle it until she met Mary. My heart sank. I was hoping that Mary must have badmouthed about us. Instead, according to my daughter, she was one of the kindest women she met. When Mary learned about us and Anna's marriage, she actually hugged her and said it is not her fault. She is a wonderful woman and she deserves better. Her husband lacks good character and has flaws in him, that's why he cheated. She has her whole life ahead and she shouldn't waste it by crying after a guy who broke her heart. They talked about Mary's life. After her divorce she cut off ties with everyone she knew through my husband and moved to her hometown with her parents. She suffered severe depression after the divorce. 2 years later she met her now husband and they fell in love. They got married and moved to this town. According to my daughter, he is a good man who treats Mary like a queen. They have 2 girls and a boy. I was happy to hear that Mary was doing great. She even gave my daughter a jar of her homemade special cookies. My daughter told me that we should be thanking Mary that she hasn't gone no contact with us. Mary told her that she holds no grudge against us and that she has forgiven us a long time ago. She encouraged my daughter to not cut us off because even though we made mistakes we did well raising her. We are humans, not angels. That Anna shouldn't punish us or feel bad about the affair. In a way that led Mary to a much happier life. Anna is not a result of a lie or a cheat but a blessing to the world and she should be thankful for having such supportive parents. I was in tears. I won't lie. I have always been jealous of Mary because she seems really kind. I could never be her because I am an awful person. I will always have guilt in my heart that I hurt such a kind woman. Then my daughter dropped the bomb. She told us that she still needs some time apart from us. Because even if Mary's insight has made her hate us less, whenever she looks at us she only sees people who have hurt someone in the worst possible ways. She needs time to cope with it. We were devastated to say the least. But we accepted her offer. She wants space and told us the reason she talked to us to see if she could forgive us. But she feels like she can't at the moment. She needs time to figure out some things and wants to continue talking to Mary because she gave her some good advice on how to cope with infidelity. I told her if that is what she wants we will give it to her and that we love her no matter what. I am in a dilemma. I don't know. I just want my daughter back. Last few days have been really stressful. I am not mad she wants to talk to Mary. I am just heartbroken that she doesn't want to share anything with me. She used to share even the little things. And now I have just become a stranger to her. My daughter got cheated on and then found out she is an affair child. I don't know where to start. About 25 years ago I, 50, had an affair with my husband, 55. He was married to Mary when we started this affair. She was 28 then. I got pregnant due to the affair. I told my husband and he and his wife got a divorce. It was painful for everyone. We both got married when our daughter, Anna, was 2. We even went to couples counseling to solve our issues. We are both guilty of what we have done. I know what we did was wrong. We have suffered a lot emotionally and mentally, but we worked hard to make our marriage work. Our daughter, Anna, got married when she was 23. After 10 months into their marriage she came crying to me saying she caught her husband in bed with someone else. My daughter was really devastated. She didn't eat or sleep properly. I once found that she had pills with her to end herself. She was able to get a divorce. She moved in with us. We helped her with everything: therapy, a place to live, find her a job. She is doing fine now. But she is still jilted by her husband's affair because she was with him since she was 16. During those times my daughter was suffering. My mind went on flashback. I was once the homewrecker. I had an affair with a married man. Maybe Mary had to go through the same pain like my daughter did. If not more, because my husband was married to her for quite some time. That guilt started to surface. Every time I look at my daughter I see Mary and couldn't help but wonder that I am the bad guy. I tried everything. I went to therapy myself and tried to console myself that it is okay. It was 25 years ago. Surely my husband noticed that something was really off about me. He asked what was wrong. I told him that I wrecked his first marriage, I got pregnant with Anna, and that is why you left your first wife. I cannot carry this guilt in me forever. My husband and I talked about it for a while. Unfortunately, Anna was eavesdropping, because after a few days she came to me and asked if she was an affair child. She told me she heard his dad and me talking about her dad's affair and how she was the result of our affair. I had to come clean. She kept screaming at me with vile words like I'm a homewrecker. She hates that she is a product of cheat and lie. She even charged at her dad and called him a disgusting cheater. She left the house and cut off contact. She went to her aunt's house, my husband's sister. Sister-in-law and Mary were close, that's why she never liked me. She only tolerated my existence for my daughter. We went to sister-in-law's house. Our daughter was still not talking to us. Sister-in-law told my daughter everything. My husband argued. Sister-in-law told us that she did promise that she will not intentionally tell Anna everything, but if she ever asks she will not lie to her. She kept her promise and didn't lie because my daughter asked for more details. My daughter doesn't want to talk to us. I learned from sister-in-law that Anna managed to track down Mary and she found out she is living in the same town as us. Mary remarried someone else and had kids. I don't understand why my daughter wants to meet that woman. I told her it was a bad idea and she only said a homewrecker like you wouldn't understand what I'm going through. I am still in distress. My husband is also very upset. I don't know what to do. I am guilty of what I did. But I do not wish that upon anyone. I want to fix things between me and my daughter. Please help a mother out. I want to give my coworker a big gift without making it weird. My coworker recently lost his car, don't know the details, probably broke down or something. He had to cancel his own wedding for his son's funeral last weekend. He's in a really bad spot. I don't think this guy is one of those make someone feel sorry in order to take advantage of them types, so. I was already kinda half-effort looking around at newer cars, waiting for a deal for a few months now but not needing one ASAP. When I heard this guy was Ubering to and from work every day I was like, holy crap, I'll just go ahead and pull the trigger on a new-to-me car and give him my old car. I have decided I'm going to do it but I have no idea how to do it. I want to preserve his dignity so I'm not going to make a big show of it. In fact, I really don't like the fact that our coworkers will figure it out when they see him driving my car. I don't feel like I'm doing it for self-aggrandizement, everything just happened to line up to where I can really help this guy. I'd have donated it to NPR because I wouldn't get much in trade and don't want to hassle with selling. How should I approach this? What is the most graceful way to give this to him, and refuse payment if he offers it, and not let it be weird? I mean, I know I can only control my side of things but if there are some things I can say or do that would make it easier I'd appreciate some insight. In my mind, I was thinking of inviting him into an empty office and just being like, look dude. I want you to have this. But then. What? What if I offend him? What if he refuses to take it and continues to Uber into work? What if he gets weird afterwards? My boyfriend said I should offer to sell it to him for a super low price so it doesn't feel like charity, but I feel kinda tacky being like, hey, I know you have all this stuff going on but if you give me $500 I'll give you my car? Nah, that won't work for me. Maybe I could offer to sell but be super insistent that I will never ask him when he will pay me and he can get it back to me whenever he wants, $5 at a time if he needs to, but really I am not trying to make money off this. I just want to help my colleague. He's kind, warm, and hardworking and he's dealing with a bunch of stuff. A big steaming poop pile. I can't sit here knowing I can help him and just shake him down or do nothing. How do I even remotely handle this? I want to give my coworker a big gift without making it weird. So, I showed up right as he was walking across the lot to his truck to leave for the week. I ran up and was like, hey. How you holding up? He sighed heavily and said I'm getting through it because I must get through it. I asked, have you come to a solution for your car problem? And he sighed again and said, yes, the solution is that I must have one and can't afford another. We were about 20 yards away from employee parking and could see both my cars so I said, well, this weekend I bought that car, point at new car, and so now I would like you to have that one, point at old car. He was absolutely speechless, so I kinda started talking fast and was like I couldn't find the title, it's in my closet somewhere but I have all the necessary paperwork you need to bring to the Iowa dot to transfer it into your name. I'll pay for a replacement title if I can't find it, and it's overdue for an oil change so I'll get that done this week while you're out too. I'll leave the keys on my desk so you have them if you get back after I leave on Friday. I attempt to look in his eyes but his mask has fogged his glasses. I continue. Yeah, they only offered me $98 for the car and I didn't think it was worth it and I didn't really want to hassle with selling it online. Also I don't have space at home to keep it, so I thought to myself, why not let, coworker, have it. So here we are. He has begun shaking. It's 15 degrees so I'm getting pretty cold at this point and I start hopping a little. So, would you take my car please? I ask, by way of concluding the offer and requesting some kind of feedback. Immediately, he grabbed me around the shoulders and pulled me in for a long, strong hug. He is openly weeping into my hair now. He is saying something but my scarf is muffling his words, but I let him hang on until he decides to pull back. Finally he removed his glasses, and he looked me in the eyes and said, you have changed my life with this gift. I cannot describe what you have given me. So of course I started crying and we hugged again. Then, he said I must be freezing and I am to go into the office immediately, so I did. He sat out in his truck for a while before finally leaving for the week, and I feel content that he did not insist on haggling over money. Perhaps if he decides later to bring it up, I will entertain what he has to say, but for now I'm well satisfied with how this turned out. Now I just have to find that damn title. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you who read this and took the time to reply. As it turns out, I was totally overthinking how this was going to go. My roommate kept stealing my clothes. So I tie-dyed his. I didn't go to college until I was 21. For some reason the fact that I was of legal drinking age made partying a lot less fun. That wasn't the case for my 18-year-old roommate, Paul. We didn't have much in common, different courses, friend groups, etc., so we didn't talk much, but he was a huge party animal. He'd come to our dorm drunk at 2 a.m. on weekdays and then go to his classes very hungover. He also had a girl over at least once a week, and they were never quiet. But the most notable thing about Paul is that he was an a-holiole. Not only that, but his family was loaded. So he was the kind of a-holiole who bragged about how much of an a-holiole his money allowed him to be. Paul was pre-law, and some of his teachers graded students based on how formal their attire was in class. Paul had 6 Oxford shirts from expensive stores, think Hugo Boss and Ralph Lauren, all in white. His wardrobe consisted only of those shirts, 4 dress pants and a single t-shirt. One day, as I was preparing to do laundry, I noticed some clothes I hadn't worn or put in the basket recently. They were clearly worn, reeking of sweat, alcohol and a bodily fluid I won't name. Some were also stained. It was gross. I confronted Paul about it and sure enough, he'd been wearing my clothes to party, drink and get lucky. His excuse was that his clothes were too expensive to wear at parties, unlike all my t-shirts, flannels and jeans. I yelled at him that he couldn't take my clothes without permission. He said, "Dude, it's just clothes. It's not like you can't wear them anymore." The fight was going nowhere, so I just told him to never do it again. He agreed. The week before spring break, Paul did it again. This time, he ripped one of my jeans. Not a small split anyone can fix, but a long, horizontal tear across the thigh. I could never wear those pants again. I thought about confronting Paul, but then I had a better idea. I was alone when I found out, so he didn't know I knew. For the rest of the week, I didn't bring it up. Then, Paul left for spring break. He was wearing his t-shirt, and didn't pack anything else, since he was going home. I waited an hour, shoved all 6 of his Oxford shirts into my backpack and left to spend the week with my family. Once I got to my mom's place, I started brainstorming what I'd do with the shirts. Tearing them wasn't enough, those can be fixed. Whatever I did, it had to be permanent. Then, my sister gave me a suggestion. I called a couple of friends over, and we got to work. We tie-dyed every single white shirt. We chose the most vibrant colors we could find. There was no way Paul would be able to wash them off. After spring break, I made sure to get to the dorm before Paul. I put all the shirts back in the closet and left to see a friend. When I got back a few hours later, Paul was on the phone with his parents. He'd put them on speakerphone, and was screaming about how someone had colored his shirts and he couldn't wear them to class. At one point, he said he'd wanted to sue whoever did it. At that, his father shut him up and told him to stop complaining. He said it was probably just a prank and he wasn't going to sue anyone. After Paul hung up, I asked, "What's the matter, dude?" He looked at me. I could tell he thought I'd done it, but he didn't say it. For about a week, Paul went to his classes wearing his only t-shirt. He couldn't convince his parents to buy him new shirts, so he had to start wearing the tie-dyed ones to class until he could save enough money to get more shirts. His grades dropped, but he still passed. Paul never stole my clothes again. Not my proudest moment, but I don't regret it.